All right, welcome back into another episode of Indiebnb. Today I am joined by Modern Nature's Jack Cooper. Jack, how
Hi.
we doing today?
Yeah, really good, really good. Yeah.
All
How
right,
are you?
all right. I'm great. I'm great. Getting up, ready to go today. Love it. Love
Yeah,
it.
good, good.
Um, well, I dove in, to a lot of your tunes and really, want to kind of get back to back to the beginning of this. Like, how did this project start? Was this born out of another band, or was this a project that started right when you started writing music?
No, I was in a band for 4 or 5 years. We did like 3 albums. We were called Ultimate Painting, and that band broke up in the start of 2018. And
Mm-hmm.
um, I had a handful of songs kind of that I was working on, and the band broke up, and I was kind of in two minds whether to, kind of start doing a solo thing, or start a new band. And it became somewhere in between, really. Initially, it
Mm-hmm.
was the idea was that it would be kind of more of a collective that sort of satellited around me or orbited around me. And the first iteration of the band was with a couple of people who've been playing in Ultimate Painting,
Mm-hmm.
which was Will Young, who is also in a band called Beak, and Aaron Neveu, who had played with Ultimate Painting but had been in an American band called Woods. And we made a record that came out. I guess it was 2019 when the first one came out, and the band has kind of, over the course of like those 6 or 7 years when it's been a band, sometimes it's been a little bit more kind of centered on me, and then sometimes it's become more of a collective thing. And I think over the last year, it's actually become more of a band. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Jim and Jeff, who've been playing with me for like as long really as Modern Nature has been a thing. Um, we found, we got a new guitarist, and it started to feel kind of more like a band than a kind of collective, I suppose.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was going to ask about that. Like, one of the things I read, in the kind of the pre stuff here, like, was that you love having the dual guitar sound. Adding that in has been important for this album. So take me through that. Like, when you guys are you trio together, like what makes you want to add somebody, and where do you go source the talent, and find all that.
I think the last album had got quite abstract. It was, by and large, it was kind of in free time. There was a lot of atonality, and it was very sort of impressionistic compared to what I'd done previously, and it felt like we'd been working up to that.
Mm-hmm.
And um, to an extent, there was probably like 15 different musicians on that record, and I kind of came to the sessions with scores, which were quite loose scores, but it would give the various different kind of improvisers that were involved like this kind of space to
Mm-hmm.
improvise, with my intention was there, but it kind of it gave it this kind of organicness. And to an extent, it was a little artificial in a way. And I think when I first started playing with Tara, I play like quite a lot of improvised music. I'll
Mm-hmm.
play in London, and I'm on the periphery of like a scene that's sort of more involved with like free improvisation. So like, um, pretty out there, in terms of tonality and things like that. And so I played with Tara, and um, the way that we played together, I was like, I think we can we could do what I've been trying to do with 15 musicians. Um, the four of us, the kind of chemistry that we had playing together, it just it pointed somewhere that I thought was like more interesting in lots of ways, but also more direct. And I think because
Hmm.
I've, by and large, a lot of the music that I've listened to and grown up with has been two guitars, two guitars, bass and drums, that kind of classic Beatles lineup. Um, I think when I'd got where I got to in my head, there was that I wanted to make a more direct record for it to
Hmm.
be kind of a more immediate sound, but also the things that I wanted to talk about and the ideas that I had thematically with the music. That to do something more sort of direct, that kind of lineup, the four piece, um, it just seemed to lend itself to that because it not I don't want to say it's like more my comfort zone, but it's if I'd intended to do something that was kind of more direct, I felt like that was the medium that I knew the best.
Hmm.
And so when I started playing with Tara, she's a much more sort of accomplished guitarist than me, but we play in quite a similar way. And the way that I often see, music, I suppose, I think of like two guitars being on kind of either side of the kind of stereo spectrum. And um, what we do a lot is kind of mirrored by each other. Neither of us are playing rhythm guitar or lead guitar. It sort
Hmm.
of interweaves. And then we started singing together as well. And that kind of has that balance as well. And yeah, as soon as we started playing together with Jim, who plays drums, it just felt so natural that the path of where the band was to go next just opened up.
Yeah. So, within the, within your creation of like a song like Pharaoh, a lot of times we song spotlight something, on the show. So want to hear from nothing to something, adding those elements in, like when you guys were creating Pharaoh, like how did that go? Like, did you bring a score kind of like what you did, more abstract with the last album, or was there, a little bit more of a, intention on that one? And did they, did everybody contribute? Was it mainly you? Like, would that look like?
Yeah, for that song, I was actually, the way that I came up with the chord sequence, I'd been sort of absent-mindedly jamming along to a song by a band called Woods, who are my friends, a friend's band called Woods. And I came up with this kind of chord progression and liked, there was something about the way that their song was that I was kind of jamming along to. And it kind of came from that. And really, with that song, I think that the most important aspect of it is the rhythm, the kind of groove of it. And
Yeah.
so, really, the idea was to just serve that more than
Hmm.
anything. That was the vehicle with which the melody, was kind of riding. Um, and so, what what I'm doing and what Tara's doing is really just serving the rhythm. And we'd I'd been listening to a lot of like Jay Dilla uh, when I was kind of writing these songs, and obviously his sort of production style is very. He sort of pushes and pulls the rhythm in lots of ways. So we spoke a lot about that. How me and Tara would kind of like move in and out of the rhythm, but you're really kind of emphasizing what the rhythm section's doing.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, with did you write all the lyrics as well, or like obviously chord progressions, like which came first, for you guys?
Yeah, the chord progression, the chord
Yeah.
progression, and I the way that I like write lyrics is I just sit and I'm playing and singing, just singing,
Hmm.
not even word association or anything like that. I'm just kind of making noises, you know. Uh, and eventually, once you start doing that long enough, and I think this is a way that like lots of lyricists probably work, or the way that I've always worked is certain phrases will start popping out that fit with that melody, and I just make a note of those, and then you kind of sit back, take a look at it, and be like, okay, I think I know what this is about. I think I know what I'm trying to say with this, and then I'll kind of do a lot of sort of word association where I just write down. I fill like 3 or 4 pages of notebooks with words that kind of fit in with the
Hmm.
theme that I'm getting to, and so from that I start piecing it all together, like maybe working on a bit of a narrative or working on the themes of the song a little bit. But yeah, I write all the lyrics for for what it's worth.
Got it. Got it. Well, one of the interesting things, like I saw on the video, like which seems like kind of like a video about like you guys creating the song, but also going and performing it. It looks like in kind of a cool backlit area, but like the lighting, what's going on there? Like you guys, like it as
Oh,
soon as the music video hits, you flick the light switch down and it becomes just the song. It felt like the song, like perfect for the song of that backlit, like kind of
yeah.
warm lighting. So like what went into that?
Well, that wasn't really intentional, but in the studio, I like it to be really dark. My
Hmm.
wife calls me mood lighting because I, if it's daytime, I like being out. I love the sun, but I just don't like artificial light.
Yeah.
I like it really dark, and I think with this record, because a lot of it, we have a 3-year old little girl, and a lot of my work, a lot of the writing that I do is at night,
Hmm.
and so that kind of permeates into the sort of recording and into the album. But there was definitely an intent behind that. I think a lot of Modern Nature stuff, and especially this album, I want it to sound like it's a late night record.
Hmm.
I kind of quite preoccupied with like a certain sound that the way that I explain it, and it's obviously a little bit more abstract than this, is that I want to make records that you would put on when you get back to someone's house after like being out for the night. Like
Yeah.
late night records where maybe you're, whatever people do late night. Um, but just, I don't mean that. I mean like
No.
just hanging out records. Like,
Yeah.
you probably know these records that I'm talking about where like you've got to
Yeah.
hear this, and it fits to that midnight
Yeah.
to 1 a.m. sort of
Yeah.
time. And so I think that yeah, that's really perceptive of you that you picked up on that, because it's not something that I've spoken about that much. But
Yeah.
I always feel like I want to make late night records like Miles Davis's In a Silent Way, or that sort of thing
Hmm.
where it's like
You
close.
get back, from the bar, you light a candle. It's like we're not going to bed yet, but like we're gonna hang
Yeah,
out for a little bit more, like have one more
yeah,
beer. Like it's like the kind of the soundtrack for that. I see it.
yeah,
I see it.
exactly,
You
exactly.
know. What for you when you guys created that video, like did you just have somebody come along with you guys on a, just in the studio, and then, going to it looked like what looked like a show, or like a kind of a smaller show.
Yeah,
So take me through the creation there.
we. I had this idea regarding the sort of creation of this record that I wanted to play for it to be, to kind of capture the excitement of not quite knowing the songs, but to feel comfortable enough to record them. And so over the course of a week, we rehearsed for 2 days. Then we played two small shows, and then the next day we went into the recording process, because I I like that kind of momentum, you know, that you get when you're
Mhm.
kind of all together. You're hanging out, you're having dinner together, you're sort of waking up in the same place. And I wanted that sort of slightly, you know, family feel to kind of permeate the record itself. And so I had this in mind to do this kind of sharp week of rehearsing and recording. And
Yeah.
a friend of mine, Michael Stasiak, who made the video and has made like a documentary about us making the album. Um, he's just a great friend of mine, and he has a really good eye. And you know, you kind of allocate a little bit of money aside for like making videos and stuff. And I was like, well, I'm just going to give that to Michael and
Yeah.
come over and film us and hang out with us, because he's just he just has one of those personalities that even though he wasn't playing on the record, just having him around sort of generates a certain atmosphere. And you know how, like, I'm sure you've watched the Beatles Get Back documentary. You know when like Billy Preston comes into the recording and it like his just vibe kind of permeates the whole thing. That was like what Michael's like, and that's why, you know, we got him in to do it. So
Very cool. Very cool. Now, like, with the lineup, as you guys had, I looked at the dates that you guys have coming up. You got some record store dates, and then you've got some dates, that are, in venues, like, and then I see, some duo dates, some trio dates. So, like,
yeah.
how do you guys, obviously you wrote it and you have, kind of the dual guitars on the album, but like, when we're going to perform as a trio, like, what's that look like? Or, is it a little bit more acoustic? Is it, do you have kind of how you're going to layer that down or layer it up? Like,
Yeah, well, so Tara and I have like a guitar duo that we do that's like
mhm.
purely improvised. And that sort of feeds back into the music a little bit. Well, definitely, you know, it definitely does. And then we have some in stores where it's going to be me, Tara, and Jim who plays drums, and we're going to like that'll be a little bit more stripped back. And
Mhm.
then yeah, for the live, the actual live shows like the UK and American shows that we're doing, it will be the four of us, like Jeff
Okay.
Tobias, who plays bass, will be with us as well. So
Yeah.
it all kind of, you know, because modern nature has been quite loose previously. It doesn't feel, you know, it feels like we can adapt to different, you know, situations.
Yeah. When you guys do the duo run, is that like a modern, like if I go to that show versus going to one of the UK shows, like am I getting, a different, like, am I getting a little bit more improvisation? Am I getting more, like, am I going to get like play the album straight through? Like what does, set list variability look like there?
Yeah, the duo that we have, like Tara and I, that's like purely improvised. But
Okay.
the modern nature shows, yeah, it'll be predominantly the new album, and we've done that in the past where we just play the the new album, because before this album, the albums have been a little bit more like standalone pieces. But I think for
Mhm.
these shows, we're gonna kind of do a lot of the songs from previous albums as well. You know, yeah,
Got it. I did notice on the previous albums, I got them up right here and I'm looking at them and like, the people you're not featured on those album covers. Like it's all kind of some art, animals, some
yeah,
cool patterns. Like, and then on this album, you guys, it looks like you guys are, for the EP, you guys are going to be on the cover, right? As the
yeah.
foursome. So is that kind of the symbolization of getting into tightening up as a foursome and becoming that kind of group, or is that intentional or unintentional?
Yeah, it's intentional.
Yeah.
In the terms of, well, Tara O'Khan, who did a lot of the illustration on previous albums, there is actually illustration behind us, but I don't think you'd be able to see it on like
Yeah.
on like a computer screen. But when the vinyl when you see the vinyl eventually, it's quite intricate what's going on behind us. But yeah, I mean, to an extent, it feels like the between the last album and this album, there's a line in the sand,
Mhm.
and it feels like this is kind of an, you know, if I was a film producer, like a reboot almost, you know, uh, like just a little shift in terms of what the band is.
Got it. Got it. Well, obviously, I like to kind of give our listeners. I always ask this question. I like to give our listeners kind of a, if what does the artist want you to feel after leaving, a modern nature show? So like whenever, like, obviously I haven't had the pleasure of seeing you guys yet live. Um, so what should I expect? What are things that I need to look out for, and what do you want me feeling as I leave the show?
I don't know about the show, I haven't thought about that, but with the records, and especially this record, I want you to feel like you've been in it.
Hmm.
The way that this album in particular, I want it. It's very dry and it's very up close and up front, and I think that probably extends to live shows. We don't play super loud, and we don't play with any effects really, and
Hmm.
I think that the thing that I've tried to get across on the album, and the way that we've recorded the album, recording it live, and all the singing done at the same time, is that I want it to feel like you've seen four people play with each other rather than, you go and see a lot of things nowadays and it's kind of constructed. There's backing tracks, there's like they're playing the same thing. And I want people to see the kind of interaction between
Hmm.
humans, because I think that that's where the magic is in music. It's the interaction between people.
Got it. With that, like, is there, a fair amount of, riffing that will be done, as the show goes, and, is the set list pretty determined, or is there, things you'll change it up,
Yeah,
midway
I think we'll
through,
change
or?
it up. I think we'll change it up. And um, we were all, we all like improvising, and we all like,
Mhm.
um, seeing where the songs go, I think. And the versions that are on the album are really just sort of starting points, I suppose.
Mhm. How did you guys learn each other, in the live setting? Obviously, probably hours of playing together, but like learning, like, okay, like we're all gonna, like, this is the end, this is the last kind of go round here. Like, how did you guys kind of learn to make sure to look at, you can tell like Tara's doing this, so now my next move should be this. Like, how long did
Yeah.
that chemistry get formed?
Well, with Jim and Jeff, the last couple of albums when we've played live, a lot of it's been improvised, and a lot of
Hmm.
it has been kind of jams, I suppose, and they've kind of informed this album in lots of ways, because the last album was so abstract that we would kind of lock into sort of more groovy. Can you say groovy?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just corny, isn't it? We would kind of lock into kind of more groove based stuff, or like more rhythmic stuff.
Hmm.
And that's kind of informed this record. Sorry.
All
Um,
good.
and um, Me and Tara have played so much together over like the last 18 months that we're like very kind of tuned in with each other's playing and stuff. So yeah, it's never felt like a problem really. It
Yeah.
was when sort of thing.
Yeah, it's interesting when I have bands that do a lot of groove based, music. Like, I ask them that because, you got to learn each other. You have to get into the point of where you have a chemistry during the live shows. So,
Yeah.
again, us on the uneducated outside, we see it, and we see it kind of as like, wow, like they're really jamming here, and like they've gotten into, a lot of different kind of soloing and different things like this. But like,
Yeah.
how do they know when it's whose turn? Like, it's those are kind of
Yeah.
the things that I look at. And then, some bands have educated me on the fact that it's, hey, we just have played for so long. We know, whenever what's his name tilts his guitar up this way, it's like, all right, we're ready to go to the next thing. Right. And so,
Yeah,
um,
it's true. Once you've been playing together so long, you get a sense of this is really working, or this is kind of petering out.
mhm, yeah.
And we I guess that's what you're looking for in the musicians that you're working with, like a similar. you're on a similar wavelength, I suppose.
Yeah, for sure. Well, good. Well, look, I want to get into, the kind of the back half here. Pete Peterson's party pack of questions. Yeah, I appreciate you sharing. Of course, everyone remember EP out August 29th. Heat Warps LP coming to you live. All the places you can find music. But we'll get into Pete Peterson's party pack of questions here. Jack, it's 20 questions, rapid fire. The last question is 2 bands that we ought to check out that we might not know. So I'm going to tell you that now. So whenever he comes up to it, you're not like, you've got it, you kind of in the back of your mind what you're thinking of that there. So
They have to be like new bands, or
you can be new bands, or they can be people that, you just want to educate some folks about.
okay.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Pete Peterson's party pack of questions. Here we go. Cake or pie?
Well, you see, I'm not sure I could do that because pie is different over here.
All right.
Cake
Pie.
okay, pie. I'm like more savory than sweet, I think.
Okay. Oh, you're thinking like a meat pie.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I mean like a tart, if you will, I guess, over there.
Still pie.
Still pie. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Salad or soup?
Salad. I have a friend who has a theory that every food can fit into soup or salad. Like spaghetti bolognese, salad. Hummus, soup.
Interesting.
Salad, though.
The salad is soup theory. Interesting. We're going to dive into that in a bit. We're going to get rapid fire here. All right. Sunrise or sunset? What are you seeing more of these days?
Sunset.
Sunset. All right. This is a little bit American, but would you rather hit a home run or score a touchdown?
Home run.
Home run. All right. Night in or night out? What are you having more of these days?
In.
Night in. When you do go out and your jam comes on, though, are you more likely to hit the robot or the worm on the dance floor?
It's a tough one because neither, but like the robot, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Guac or queso at your local Tex-Mex spot? Walking around. All right. Waffles or pancakes?
Pancakes.
All right. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Coffee. All right. Dogs or cats?
Cats.
All right. Are you more like a ninja or a pirate?
Is that a reference to that website? Do you remember that website?
No. What is that?
Okay. Ninjas.
Ninjas. Okay. Gatorade or Powerade?
I don't think I've ever had Powerade, but I've had Gatorade, so yeah.
Okay. Gatorade. All right. Toast or bagels?
Damn. Toast.
All right. Crisps or pretzels?
Crisps. No,
Crisp.
pretzels.
Pretzels?
Yeah.
All right. Chips or tots?
You saying chips like fries or?
I was translating for you. Yeah.
I love those tots, man.
Yeah.
Chips. Yeah.
Chips. All right. All right. After a long day, TV show or a movie to unwind?
Movie.
Movie. All right. Are aliens real?
Yeah.
Is Bigfoot real?
No.
No. Is Love at First Sight real?
Yeah.
Okay. And final question to Pete Peterson party pack of questions. Who are 2 bands that we ought to check out that we might not know?
Well, I feel like there's a band over here that like have been going since the 90s that I've been listening to since then, and I've been listening to them a lot recently. But I feel like a lot of Americans don't know them. They're called Shack, a Liverpool band, and their singer Michael Head also releases great albums. But I've been listening to them a lot recently, and another band. It's so hard.
Yeah, it's tough to kind of whittle it down. If you got like a lot of
Yeah.
Shout out somebody. Yeah, you shout out somebody you know. Shout out somebody you've met.
Oh, I don't know about that. Let me see. Well, you should listen to Tara Cunningham's music, who plays
Yeah.
guitar with us. Like, she releases her own music, and it's great.
All right. Well, good. We had Shack. Is that SHACK
Yeah,
for people who want to find it? SHACK.
yeah.
All right.
But
Awesome. And then
Michael Head has also released an album. Well, he's released lots of music. He was in a band called the Pale Fountains, but he released one of the great records of all time. I think it's called Michael Head in the Strands, and uh, that band like used to back Arthur Lee from Love for a while in the 90s.
mhm.
So if you like Love, Forever Changes, it's a good comparison, I think.
I love it. We'll have to go check it out. So we have Shaq, Michael Head in the Strands,
Yeah,
and of course Tara Cunningham. Go
yeah,
check all those out. Modern Nature coming to the West Coast here in the States. So if you are in our West Coast audience, check out their dates. I believe everything's on their website. And
yeah. We'll be on the East Coast as well. Probably January. I think they're just finishing
okay.
putting those dates together. I think we'll be down in Atlanta. I think we'll be playing the Earl. So
Oh, the Earl. All right. Love that. We'll have to
yeah,
come out, and see you guys live.
yeah. I've
Gotta
had
get the
some good tots
experience.
there actually. Good tots at the Earl.
Yeah, you got to get some. You had chicken wings here. You need to get some. You need to
No, I'm
get in the
vegetarian,
wing
but
game. Oh,
I'm
okay, gotcha.
vegetarian, but I'll do my best.
Yeah, yeah. We've got some vegan wings here, vegetarian wings here as well. So we'll get
I
you
could do
going.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, but awesome. We'll definitely check you guys out on the East Coast when we get those dates released, and of course August 29th, the LP drops. Heat Warps. Go check it out. Play it late night. It's your late night hang music.
it
Get
is.
it in there when you're coming back from the bar and you're having one more beer at home. It's the nightcap.
Exactly.
We love
Yeah.
it. We love it. We love it, man. Well, thank you so much for taking the time on this
Oh,
Saturday.
no, thank
Appreciate
you,
you.
man. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. Nice
Yeah.
chatting.
Awesome. Thank you.